the same, it'd be boring. Thankfully we go through different things, our walks of life, you and me. Not all of us grew from apple trees, so grab a snack and sit right back. It will tell you the story of we.
Welcome. Thank you. Hello. Now, could you please introduce yourself to the people? Well, people, my name is Taylin Hayes, and I'm here today to discuss the underrepresentation or misrepresentation that we have against pagans or witches in the media. Okay, thank you for being here today. It's very, very nice of you to be willing to talk about this with us, especially we are in Cleveland-Bradley County, that area. The library that we're in is the Cleveland-Bradley County Public Library. And the percentage-wise, it's greatly Christianity here. So for a lot of you, you've probably not met somebody who practices paganism. And we just would like to shine a little light onto this because you are a part of our community, and there are many other people like you that are in our community, and you deserve to be talked about. Thank you. You're welcome. So, do you think that you could talk about how media represents paganism right now? Right now, I think we're currently in an age that's starting to expand our views on it. I think a lot of people are starting to already get a better idea of what it truly is rather than what it's been portrayed as in the past. But talking about how it's been in Hollywood media or just other forms of television and things that we have introduced to us, I think it's had a very negative reputation in its time because most people tend to confuse witchcraft with things like demonology or just other dark practices that don't exactly involve that. And they often tie immorality to a lack of morals, Satanism, things like that. Yeah. And have you even ever seen any type of representation, or at least just any lick of anything? Because if I think about paganism in media, it's usually just what people say about it and not very, even in TV, movies, books, and things of that sort. Like, I can't think of anything. Yeah. Well, I would like to start off with, a lot of people confuse paganism with witchcraft, and they're two completely separate things. A lot of people also confuse Wiccans with witches, and that's its own religion. So there are many different subcategories that are all within paganism, but paganism itself is just believing that your god is nature, basically. You can still have like the stereotypical Christian god or the Buddhist god, whatever you identify with, but it just comes back to you find your inner peace in nature and Mother Earth. And what other things go with paganism? Because, like, if you think of like Christianity, you gotta believe in Jesus. You have like all these different things that you can tie to Christianity, or even like Judaism. You have those visual things that you can tie to those different religions. Right. Well, the cool thing about paganism is that it doesn't actually subscribe solely to one thing. Nature is really the only constant that you'll find in every pagan. And what I mean by that is, for example, if you're having an awful day at work and you feel very socially, emotionally, mentally drained, a pagan, rather than go to a church or reach out to friends and find energy in other things, we might take a drive to the mountains and go sit in the river for a while just to regain energy from the earth. Okay. And Another common practice and morality within paganism is just to always give back to the earth what you're given. So, don't pollute and take care of our environment, please. It matters.
And how do you personally respect the earth or give back to the earth?
Well, for me, since I do have some of my own witchcraft practices, I like to do rituals that pertain to the moon, especially, because I believe that the planets do have a scientific effect on people, considering that we are 70% water. If you want to break it down chemically, we're impacted by everything around us, and everything has energy. So, for example, like on full moons or new moons, I'll try to think about what actually serves a purpose to me or my life, or the goals that I have. And
even if I'm assuming a lot of the viewers are not pagans, how can they give back to the earth in their own ways, or even like in practical ways? Like, what could they do to just make the earth better for itself? Like, give back to their. I know we said
hoot, don't pollute. This is number one.
Number one.
Yes, number uno. Take care of the environment and just have more of a conscience towards your carbon footprint, really.
Just thinking before you do.
Yeah.
Helps a lot.
And I think it's important for every person, pagan or not, to, at some point in your life, try to figure out what your journey is and what your purpose is.
People don't like to think whenever they create things. They just are like, okay, I see those tropes, those cliches, those stereotypes. Let's copy and paste them into my script or my book or anything of that sort. If people thought and did research, because the thing is that me personally, I absolutely love characters. Characters are one of my favorite things about TV, movies, books, all that good stuff. Characters are probably my favorite. I love character development. I love delving deep into characters, which is why it's frustrating whenever there are just 2D copy and paste models. It's like, I want a good character. Do I care at all, whatever the character is? I want a good character. It doesn't matter if the character's a murderer. I really want a good human. I want to read about a human. I want to watch a movie that feels like I'm watching a human interact with the world. That's what I want. And it's frustrating when there are so many different minorities that don't get humans. They don't get to see themselves as humans in the media.
Yeah, they just get portrayed as the stereotype that keeps coming up.
If you did not watch the last video, we want to highlight the whole point of this is to talk to people who are underrepresented and have them point us in a direction in any way, shape, or form to a good piece of literature or a good piece of media, a good movie, any of that. And we're going to be getting a piece for the Cleveland Bradley County Public Library's collection, and then we'll also be giving a copy away to a patron. Now, yeah, free book. You guys could get a free book if you have a library card. Free book! Free books are great. And the whole point of this is we want to promote education, because even myself, I'm not educated at all in paganism in any way, shape, or form. But the more people know about something, the less likely they are to stigmatize it or stereotype it. And also, the best way to learn about something or someone is to talk to somebody, which is why we're doing this. So, Taylin here brought a book, and you can talk about it. It looks very pretty, I will say.
That it does. So I decided to bring in the Grimoire for the Green Witch. I actually just bought this book about a month ago.
And I'm not far into it, but what I really like about it is it's just like a thesaurus for witchcraft and paganism. It's a good introduction book. It tells you the basics, the history, how it started, but not in a boring way that makes you want to fall asleep while you're reading it. Just everything you need to know, what to keep in mind. It tells you about the different phases of the moons and different runes, what certain symbols mean. Like the pentacle, for example, is very misrepresented in the media as being a satanic sign, but the pentacle is actually a star of protection.
Yeah.
So it just delves into all that kind of stuff. It's very nice. I think it's a good educational book if you're just curious about it.
Yeah. And it would be free, guys.
Mm-hmm. And it just has a lot of helpful stuff about nature in it as well. There are different herbs and flowers, trees, all that kind of stuff that you can learn about.
Some nice herbology.
Yes, herbology.
Having things in a easy way to digest without cutting out any of the good stuff is the ideal, which I'm assuming this is.
Yes, it also has a table of contents for every single minute detail that you may need, but not pages of table of contents. Very simple, as you said. So even if you're not interested in everything pertaining to the craft or the practice, you can still find some things that'll just help you out, whatever you may be interested.
Even people who are practicing paganism, this could be useful for.
Yes, and it is an informational piece of text. It's not a fictional work.
Is there anything else you want to say at all? Any little spiel, quick little spiel?
I would like to highly emphasize the point of doing research.
Research.
Yes, because even in practice, that is the number one thing that you are taught. Do your research. Look up everything for yourself, check your sources, and just educate yourself on what you try to speak on.